Looks like Damar Hamlin is in the building.
The Hamlin family watching from one of the suites.
So it appears Damar Hamlin is back at the stadium, not playing, but watching from a suite. He won't show his face, and they keep panning to the snow where you can't see anything. Now, I'm not trying to start a conspiracy theory, but everyone on Twitter notices it and is joking about it. It's the running joke on Twitter right now.
Or was Damar Hamlin in the building? I mean, who was that masked man?
Here he is, Sheriff. Hello, Cavendish. Didn't think you'd catch him, partner. Now we got the whole dang bunch. You and your men are to be congratulated, Sheriff. Thanks. But if it hadn't been for you, we'd have gotten nowhere. I'll be with you in just a minute. I'll take care of this one personally. Come on. Easy, Silver.
No, Cavendish can't catch it, Kemosabe. You take off mask.
I'm going to continue to wear the mask and keep my identity a secret.
For how long?
Our job has just begun. We have a lot of trails to follow.
That's good.
Sheriff, before the lockup, do you mind telling me who the masked man is? Wouldn't mind at all, except that... Hey, where'd the masked man go? He and his Indian pal are going out to get the horses, Sheriff. Well, guess he isn't one to stick around for a party. Well, who is he? I don't rightly know his real name, but I've heard him called the Lone Ranger.
Well, that wasn't the Lone Ranger in the building, and a lot of people don't think Damar Hamlin was in the building either. Here's what Stu Peters thinks.
And speaking of running around, Damar Hamlin was almost doing that. Certainly we weren't the only ones that noticed the pep in his step. Again, this guy was dead on the field just a month ago and was brought back with CPR. And by the way, speaking of CPR, if CPR is performed correctly, the person being brought back to life, revived, is almost certain to have internal bruising at minimum, likely broken ribs and damaged cartilage. This was a guy that appeared almost ready to suit up and play in the game on Sunday. Hamlin never took his hood down, never removed his mask, never took off those hideous sunglasses, and didn't speak to a soul. It's just bizarre. When an NFL player makes a miraculous recovery or survives some huge hit or accident or major injury, the NFL is always quick to showcase them on the national stage, on the 50-yard line, even rolling them out in wheelchairs to celebrate their comeback or return to a stadium. Why was this different? Why are they hiding him away? Was that Damar Hamlin at that stadium on Sunday? How would we know? But with a sports league worth billions of dollars and a pharma shot worth tens of billions, even trillions before this is all said and done, there's enough money in play for people to lie about it. That's just the truth. And if that means covering up the truth for people like this, that's a small price to pay. Look, we'll say it. We know that the bioweapon did this. The NFL knows that the shot did this. The doctors know that the jab did this. And according to a Rasmussen poll, almost 50% of Americans now say that they know someone that they suspect died suddenly as a result of being injected with Pfizer's heart attack shot of death. If Damar Hamlin wasn't vaccinated, and if doctors had been able to justify any other cause for Hamlin's collapse on that field, they would have repeated it 1,000 times over again. But they haven't.
Now, let's jump into the Wayback Machine to almost 45 years ago, to a preseason game on August 12th, 1978.
Rogan will put it in the air. Oh, the intended receiver is Darryl Stingley. The man he ran into is Jack Tatum. And Stingley is down.
That was Jack Tatum laying out Darryl Stingley, compressing his spinal cord and breaking his fourth and fifth cervical vertebrae, which rendered him a quadriplegic. But like Stu Peters just said, the NFL made a fanfare of his recovery. Here's Howard Cosell, the original voice of NFL's Monday Night Football, interviewing Stingley on TV live.
I spoke with him today. Darryl, I must say you look well, and it's a thrill and a joy to have you back. What was your reaction coming into this administration building to that huge group of fans outside as they saw you?
Well, Howard, I must say that I really wasn't surprised to see such a big crowd out there, because the response of the fans from out here in the New England area since my accident has been tremendous. And I knew that once they knew that I was coming to the game that I would have a reception like that. So it was pretty much expected, but it was still appreciated.
And here's some more Stu Peters on the subject.
And it doesn't have to be that he's secretly dead or any of the things that people are already accusing us of saying. No, it could easily just be that Hamlin is being used for the NFL's PR. They need him to be getting better and fast, like right away. But maybe he's not better. Maybe he's actually deeply messed up. It would make sense considering he spent several minutes dead on a playing field less than a month ago. And as for why nobody has said anything about the heart attack's cause, it takes no imagination at all. It would be disastrous for every powerful stakeholder to admit Damar Hamlin's collapse was caused by the jab. For Pfizer, it would be by far the highest profile collapse of a healthy young person from one of the shots. For the NFL and for the Bills, it's disastrous because they strongly encouraged, actually coerced players to get the vax and punish teams with lower vaccination rates. What if they now had to admit that they poisoned all of their players? And now, what about the game that Hamlin allegedly attended this past Sunday? Why did Damar show up separately from his family? I mean, he's not playing in the game. Why wouldn't he just walk in with his mom and nephew? Why wouldn't he stop and get in front of the first camera that he saw to thank the millions of viewers for their prayers? Isn't it safe to assume literally everyone that was watching that game was anticipating hearing from Hamlin? Nope, not a word. As a matter of fact, he didn't even show his face. Hamlin was escorted in a security vehicle, sunglasses over his eyes, hood up, covering his whole face with a COVID mask. Does a person, by the way, who requires oxygen benefit from wearing an oxygen-inhibiting mask? And speaking of oxygen, does a person who requires oxygen run around without an oxygen tank?
And kind-hearted folks throughout the land donated more than $10 million to a charity for Damar Hamlin. But now, all they have to show for their generosity is a missing person on the side of a milk cart. But wait, check out this video from Sports Breaking News that just popped up today. Now, when I looked at that video just a few minutes ago, I had no idea if that were Damar Hamlin or not. I didn't think it was, and Sports Breaking News quickly admitted that they were duped. That is not Damar Hamlin. So, NFL, Buffalo Bills, Damar Hamlin. It's real simple. Show Damar Hamlin on live TV and end the conspiratorial speculation nonsense. Or is it? Just come clean and tell us the truth. And before I leave, a quick plug for Innocent Man, another one of my crime fictions. It's based on another true story about a task force trying to apprehend child predators online. But they arrest the wrong man, an innocent man, and he has to prove his innocence. Available at Amazon and many booksellers. Or visit me at barrybow.com for info on all my books. And thanks for stopping in today. Until next time. See you. And that's a wrap.